This is the St. Louis chapter of the Restore the Fourth movement. The Restore the Fourth movement just today had over 100 separate rallies, some with 3 people and some with 3,000 people. Every single one of them has had the same purpose, to restore the Fourth Amendment. We're not a liberal issue, we're not a conservative issue, we're not an anything issue, we are a human issue. The Fourth Amendment, an integral part of the Constitution and our country's foundation, is under attack. Huge amounts of data is being saved. Every single American citizen is currently under constant surveillance without a warrant. And this program, the NSA PRISM, has excused itself by saying, oh, but we're not searching. We only need a warrant to search. Unfortunately, the Fourth Amendment protects against both search and seizure without a warrant. And we are here as a building block, as part of a huge movement nationwide, to say you can't do that. Privacy is not an admission of guilt. I want privacy when I go to the bathroom. That is not because I'm doing cocaine in the bathroom. It is because I want privacy. One of the fundamental rights of American citizens is the right to privacy, but also the right to not have to explain why. You don't need a permit for your right to privacy. You don't need to prove that you're a good guy. It's a right afforded to all of us. And there is no degree of safety, there is no degree of security that can be promised to me that is going to make me okay with some shill in a suit behind a desk being able to access my phone records, my Facebook messages, and my personal effects without a warrant whenever he wants to. I'll give you an example. We had one woman walk by 6 times today, I counted. She had a very distinctive shirt, so she was very memorable, and the first 5 times she walked by, didn't want to talk, didn't ask, didn't care. But then 6 hours later, we were all still standing here in the sun being cooked to death, and she got a little curious. And she walks up to me, the loudmouth, and says, what is it that's so important? What is it that you guys are spending time away from your family and friends? And I told her all about it, and we stood and talked there for 25 minutes. It is undeniable that it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter where your political, standing lies, it doesn't matter where your loyalty lies, what income bracket you're in, how old you are. We have had people from every single walk of life imaginable here today.
I'm here to defend the Fourth Amendment, restore the Fourth Amendment, which is what our movement's called. We're here to fight for our rights to privacy. The NSA has been data mining and data farming tons and tons of information from Google, Microsoft, all of large corporations. And we're here to stop that, hopefully.
I'm here because I wanted to do something to stop the erosion of our civil rights. Government is taking our rights away little by little. Nobody seems to know about it, and the few who do know about it don't seem to care much. And when they do find out what's going on, they don't really seem to think it's important. They don't even know what rights they have, and they don't know that their rights are being eroded.
I am here because I support enforcing the Fourth Amendment. I am also training people on how to use privacy-enhancing technologies, and we're giving out handouts with information regarding privacy software that's free, open source, that you can use and protect yourself from the NSA today.
Okay, why is this an important issue to you?
Well, it's an important issue because we have, I feel like, fallen ill to our own hubris around what we will allow our government to do. We've assumed for a long time that American citizens are protected from the American government, even as we're seemingly okay with having foreign nationals and other people with very sounding names under surveillance. And it seems to me like an incredible hubris that when the surveillance state turns around and starts to spy on its own citizens, it is unfortunate that so many people are surprised by it. So it's an important issue for me because I'm an American citizen, and I don't think I should have more protection against surveillance than a citizen of any other nation. Because privacy is a human right, not just in the Bill of Rights.
My name is Daniel. Daniel, you've been in the hot sun all day. What brings you out here?
Just to respect my Fourth Amendment right to privacy. With the revelation of Edward Snowden have obviously brought a lot to my attention, and I've been following the news ever since then. I should have been following it a lot longer. I'm sorry that I haven't, but I'm here today to in hopes to move this movement along and get it going. Hopefully get our rights back.
Okay, and what is your vision of what should be changed?
There's absolutely no reason why there should be this massive amount of data gathering on civilians. There's absolutely no reason for it. We've been told that it's to prevent the terrorist attacks on the U.S., but as of yet, there's been no substantial evidence that's shown that. Until I see that evidence, I will continue to fight the gathering of that information.
Because the Fourth Amendment protects the right to privacy of all the citizens of the United States, and the government has just gone and invaded everyone's privacy, not only in our country, but across the entire world. And that's not legal, and it's not right for humanity. It's against human rights, and it's just an inherently wrong thing that they've done that needs to be corrected. We have to stop it here, and we've all come here to start the end of government surveillance.
So what would you...
I'm here because, well, I'm the national coordinator of the Restore the Fourth movement, and I just really wanted to be here with like my state and help represent my area very well, just because this is an issue that's very, very important to me. The government shouldn't be spying on people because it's unconstitutional, and our Constitution is the law of the land, and it should be what everyone follows. Whenever, just the fact that it's so blatantly unconstitutional, and people, like the government, it realizes that, but it doesn't care. Like, it's trying to make people forget. They're focusing more on Snowden the person and not Snowden what he leaked, and I find that really, really frightening. Just because if you look at Section 215 of the Patriot Act, it states that when the government goes to FISA courts to get warrants to obtain all these information, like these dragnet surveillance searches on people, they don't have to have reasonable suspicion, they don't have to have probable cause, they don't even have to provide evidence to the justices that are on the court. And that's wrong. It blatantly violates the U.S. Constitution. And because in the Constitution, in the Fourth Amendment, it states that in order to obtain these warrants on people, they must have reasonable suspicion, they must have probable cause. They have to know for certain that these people are either tied to terrorist organizations or have done things for them in order to help them thrive, help them grow. And they don't have any of that. It's all general. It's very broad. And it's, instead of being innocent until proven guilty, you're guilty until you're proven innocent. And that's wrong.
It's a nonpartisan movement, which I really appreciate, as opposed to being one of the left or right-wing oriented issues. This is something that someone who's outside of the standard political spectrum like myself can really appreciate. Over the last decade or better, after the Patriot Act passed, it really came to my attention, and I think the rest of the public's attention, that our civil rights are being eroded. And they're making less and less excuses at the federal, state, and local level about why those rights are being eroded and how those rights are being eroded. While Snowden did bring a great deal of information out to the public about this, it has been available to people who have been looking for it for years through Carnivore, Echelon, and a lot of the other monitoring programs that were existent prior to 9/11, and after 9/11, when the Patriot Act passed, they were validated, they were funded, they were made public. So I'm out here because it's been a pressing issue for a lot of years, and it's not just the war on terror that's eroded and destroyed the Fourth Amendment, but also the war on drugs. We've had a lot of our freedoms, physically and now digitally, completely violated. And whereas in the past, law enforcement, government agencies, when brought to task, had to fumble and stumble over themselves and try to make a cohesive argument to the public. Now they just don't care. It's gotten to the point where they cite terrorism, or they just essentially try to make accusations that if we demand our privacy, if we acknowledge our civil rights, that is admission guilt. That just because we don't want all of our information, all of our interactions, digitally or otherwise, made public and made available to them, that somehow we're crazy or we are criminal. It's not right. It's a trend that has just accelerated, and I'm really glad that we have conscientious individuals like Edward Snowden who have finally brought this to the forefront. I'm hoping that this is a small example of the kind of protests that we'll continue to see in the future. You have 33 million people that rose up in Egypt to push back against a government that was violating their rights, that was not respecting their demands. We're starting with a couple hundred here and supposedly 100 other cities that have also participated in this effort. It's been a long time coming, and I think that as the public learns more about their rights and learns more about how their rights are being violated, they will push back.
All right. Can you tell me?
I was just kind of tired of sitting around and complaining on the internet and to other people about what I believe is a violent break of our constitutional rights, and actually get up and do something about it. So I think out of all the amendments, I mean, I believe that, especially in the recent years, there's been blatant violations of our constitutional rights. But in particular, I think the violation of the Fourth Amendment is one of the most troublesome, particularly since with the NSA there's so much secrecy and very little transparency regarding it, that even our own Congress, our own representatives, aren't even in the know on a lot of the stuff of what's going about it. And so I don't understand how we're supposed to be assured that our rights are being protected, that proper foreign policy and domestic policy decisions are being made, having an informed public about these issues. I just don't believe that there's enough transparency to be considered a true free state regarding these issues.
How do you react when someone says, trust us, someone from the government?
Give us reason to trust you, basically. I say trust us right back. I mean, we're the people. The government is meant to serve the people. It should be the government that's trusting us to handle our freedoms responsibly. I don't believe that we should have to go by faith on the government when, by and large, throughout history, it's been the government, overpowerful governments, that have been the instigators, who have been the problems. I think that, especially considering the American form of government was based on skepticism of government and limited government, I think it's keeping it within the spirit that you have to give us a reason to trust you. And so let's be more transparent about this.
Well, I first read about the whole Edward Snowden and the whole NSA stuff on Reddit, and I thought, yeah, like the government really shouldn't be doing this. It's something that's privacy, something that's protected under the Fourth Amendment. So I thought that they shouldn't be doing this, and this is wrong, and they should stop. Someone should be stopping them. So I looked and I saw there's starting to be protests in Hong Kong was one of the first ones, and then also like over in Europe, and then also in the United States too. And I saw that, and I decided, yeah, I want to get involved, because if these protests don't happen now, it's just going to get worse over time.
Why is it